As I dey walk for this life, I dey feel one gentle glow, they follow me. Light way soft, light way pure, light way they calm my chest like cool breeze for dawn. Sometimes I fall small, sometimes the road bend like old mama back. But something they leave me every time, like how I know they rush, like voice where they whisper, say, my child, you know they alone. I dey walk inside the light, light they follow me, anointed in light, anointed in light. My soul they glow for night, peace they cover me, anointed in light, anointed in light. I dey breathe deep, I dey steady my step, I dey hold peace for my hand like water for calabash. Even when storm they shout, my spirit still they shine steady, cause I know say I carry something holy inside me. If you know see I'm, but I dey feel I'm strong. Light where they got me, light where they wash my wahala clean, clean. Light where they cover me like mother glow. Every day I rise again, every night I rest again. My heart they warm, my soul they glow. I dey walk with quiet boldness.
How you doing, guys? Sorry, my voice is not back, so it's not going to be me talking a lot. It's gonna be chaos. But welcome to the show. How are you, chaos?
I'm good. Yeah, Patrick just came back from Disneyland, and unfortunately, he stole Mickey Mouse's voice.
Yeah,
He had to take a piece of Disneyland home with him. I'm just. I don't have a mullet. What is this?
I think talking about the.
No, this isn't a mullet. That's not a mullet.
No, on the picture, on the thumbnail.
Oh. I do pile my hair on top of my head. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, we're getting Judge Mo on. I don't know if he's been on the channel before I was around on the channel, but I've never hosted him on this channel, so this will be fun. We can cook him a little bit.
I wanted to bring somebody neutral, you know, and I've been asking Judge Mo to come here a lot, so it's what it is. Says.
Yep. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
What's the Barbie thing?
Dude, you had to be there in the 90s when that song would come on the radio and you're in your car and you have to like put your cassette player on. Just bang it. And you couldn't like rewind it and listen to it again. You like had to listen to it live on the air. Like you had to be there, man. that song went nuts. I think it was 97.
Good time. It's a good time.
I was very young. Yeah, that song. Nobody had that. I bought the record. Actually, I bought it on cassette, so it was two sides. I had that like album basically, and I remember, I was a banger. Aqua, and then they just disappeared. I bet you anything, they made more money from that song being in the trailer from last year's movie than they did probably in their entire career.
I'm sure.
So, good for them.
I'm sure.
Good for them.
I'm sure they still make money out of it, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, they do. They have to. They made
probably
a lot of. Yeah. Anyway, before we start, I just wanted to talk about this incident which I got in my DM. Look, I'm somebody who doesn't get upset, disappointed. The only reason why it got me today was I was trying to have a good day. Yes, I went in my DMs to check because a lot of people writing messages. So I find that message. The issue is this Andy Savage guy. That's his name. Years ago, youngster, he came in the comments. He made a comment, and it was a very insulting comment then. I didn't know him. So, that time, somebody vouched for him and said, it's grand, he's a nice guy. Later on, I was hacked. I made a mistake. So, I was like, cool, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You were hacked, you made a mistake. I knew deep down he wasn't hacked. So my disappointment is I forgave you then when you made those comments. And I've never said anything about your podcast or about that. I left it quiet. But for you to get into my DMs and write a message, a thread, saying, oh, I blocked you because of your opinions, but see you at the Etihad if you find it, in a sort of insulting manner. That's what pissed me off today. And you got me in a very bad state where I actually broke down today for the first time. And I even wrote a message to your friend who vouched for you and said, is this the guy you vouched for? So, Andy, now I'm going to be addressing you directly. If you've got issues, say it straight. Now, after my post, about 7 people have written to me, say you threaten people that if they come at the Etihad, you're going to do something. Man, you're like 50, 60 years old. You have better things to do. And you like attacking people with disabilities and minorities. Man, that's just a bad look on you. But anyway, that's my last statement to you, Andy. If you have issues, reach out to me personally. Your friend, if he answers, I'll speak to him. Anyway, welcome, Judge Mo. I'll not speak much.
What did I walk into, bro?
Welcome, Judge Mo. I haven't talked to you in a very long time, so welcome to the channel. Yeah, we got a big game on Sunday, so we're starting to bring in the big hitters, and our first one is Judge Mo. He's coming in to give us we'll just have a good discussion about this game. You know, City right now are 6 points behind. They do have a game in hand, but what better way to make a statement than to play the team that you're chasing at home in a title race, a team that has just come off a very dull game. I guess it was dull. I didn't watch the game yesterday. I was watching real football in Munich. That was quite an entertaining game. I really hope you had a split screen on yesterday, Mo, because that Bayern Madrid game, that was
I do have multiple screens, so
they have it on the Paramount Plus app. You can do it the multi-screen.
no, I do it on my laptop. When there's multiple games, it's either I sit down on the TV and I watch one of the big screen. But yesterday I chose to have the games on the laptop. But listen, the Arsenal game yesterday, the problem if you watch the game yesterday is Arsenal weren't as bad until the ball reached the finals. They actually moved the ball much quicker. Zubamendi was moving the ball forward. Rice was moving the ball forward. Mosquera was going forward. You know what? There was a change of position. Like when you see sometimes Doku inside the pitch or Semenyo inside. Arteta did this. But the difference is the quality. I know that people don't believe me when I say Doku's qualities. I know that people talk about people talk about the final product and all this shit, but you gotta understand, Man City players, one of the most important things of an attacker is to be able to dribble and just pass a simple pass. Every time yesterday, and I know people say Madueke dribbles very well. Madueke doesn't dribble very well. Every time Madueke dribbles, the guy is on his shoulder, he's dragging his arm, you know, like he's not clean. Like Ryan Shirky gets past player, he's clean. You know who's like Shirky? Eze. When Eze gets past player, he's out. He's out of the game. The guy is beyond him. The guy is not clinging onto his shirt. The guy is... You watch Doku get past people. When Doku gets past you, you're gone. You're out of the game. You're chasing shadows. Madueke and Martinelli. Number one, Martinelli is just kick and run. And he doesn't do it as good as Doku. You know, like people say, but Doku relying on speed. But Doku has a lot of ball control, body movement, footwork. And
Doku attracts 2 defenders. And I don't think we can say that in the year 2026 about Martinelli.
Not even about Saka, you know that. You know, not even about Saka. Like the quality of Arsenal is dire. Is bad. And also, one of the things that people don't know about if people play professional football, one of the main things that you need your striker to strike fear. Haaland strikes fear. Gyökeres doesn't strike fear. Like Gyökeres can be marked one-on-one and you can just forget about him during the game. Haaland cannot be marked one-on-one. When in the Liverpool game, if you watch the Liverpool game, the moment Van Dijk stepped out of 18 and Semenyo crossed, it's a one-on-one, Haaland and Konate. Haaland won the battle.
Yeah.
Goal. It's 2-0. It's over. It's done. That's
yeah,
why.
Gyökeres in particular doesn't beat a lot of men. I think he's really struggling with the pace of the Premier League. That's kind of from what I've seen of the few games that I've watched.
The
of him.
pace. That man
The
can.
pace, and even in that cup final game, Husanov easily dealt with him. Like Husanov has the pace and dealt with him without really much of a problem. I don't think he was in that game at all.
Arsenal are structured in the majority of the season way better than City. City had multiple problems in finding the way to play. Is it a high line? Is there a mid block? Do we recover quickly? Do we press high? Do we press the goalkeeper? And Pep Guardiola is trying, I think until this moment, Pep Guardiola is trying to find the right solutions for some of the teams. That's why against Forest he struggled. I don't think that City struggled against West Ham, by the way. It's one corner they scored and that's about it, you know. Arsenal structured very well. The problem with Arsenal is that teams don't fear you anymore. They don't fear your attack. They are okay to try to leave. Like yesterday, against Sporting Lisbon, Sporting always had an attacker not going back on Saliba and Gabriel. Always. The majority of the game. Back in the beginning of the season, teams used to defend with 11 players all the time against Arsenal. And Arsenal used to open up with a set piece or a shot from outside and all this stuff. But now, if Arsenal are going to go play City, and I'm going to be completely honest, even if City press and Arsenal have Raya and they get bypass their press, do City defenders fear the likes of Gyökeres? Can't Guehi manage Gyökeres one-on-one? And then you're talking about people talk about the speed. Well, Kozanov can cover the Martinelli speed without a shadow of a doubt. Kozanov can cover any ball in behind. Do Arsenal have the people that used to be ruthless in the counter attack? Absolutely. So Pep Guardiola is not gonna have a sleepless night worrying about how to stop Arsenal attack. Pep Guardiola is gonna be worried more about how to break the low block of Arsenal than worrying about the counter attacks. Which is, if you're asking me 6 months ago, when he went to the Emirates, he was more worried about opening up against Arsenal than breaking down the low block. But it's completely changed now. Pep is thinking, how can I break this Arsenal low block? Because their attack is dead. Their attack is dead, Arsenal currently. You see, the midfield looks good sometimes. Zubamendi doesn't look good, yes, but, you know, if they turn it on, Rice would run his ass off on the pitch. Gabriel and Saliba are fighters and they block. Pep is going to think about that. Pep is going to have 80% of his lecture about where are the spaces in Arsenal's defense, rather than 6 months ago, as I mentioned, I'm going to reiterate, he would be having 50% of his lecture about when we lose the ball, you have to recover, you have to close the spaces on these Arsenal attackers, you have to do all of this. And that is the difference between what happened during just last month between Arsenal and Manchester City. Manchester City going into this game favorites. I think if you're asking me, Arsenal can get a draw. And I actually don't think that a draw is a bad result for City. People make it as if City drop points in this game, City must win. Yes, they must win to catch.
I think if we drop 3 points, it's over because if you keep it at level at 6, it's like well, that's also 6, with the game in hand. So that's technically, assuming you win the game in hand, then it would be 3. And I would back Arsenal to drop a couple of more points because, like I've said, they've been very fatigued. Also, I don't think they know what they're about to face in Atletico Madrid in a Champions League semifinal. That is not what they want to do when they're being chased by Pep Guardiola, because that is a very physical team. Simeone can out tactic them. They've got really good attackers. You know, Julian Alvarez is a very elite player. You know, Lookman has been fantastic since he joined them. Like, they can run riot around that defense, and you know, that midfield of Atletico Madrid, they can run circles around Zubamendi and Declan Rice, who are both showing a lot of signs of fatigue because Arteta just refuses to rotate them. And we've seen this before with Man City, with Rodri at the end of a title race. Like the last time we won the title in 23-24, like Rodri was out of gas. But the difference was that Pep actually made a change. He put Kovacic in there to kind of be Rodri's legs when Rodri had been worn out. Because, you know, Declan Rice is the kind of player you don't bench. He's their best player. So you're not going to bench him in big games or anything like that. But you got to start benching him in some of these small games like Southampton, like Leeds, you know, Wolves, those kind of games. Those are the ones you ideally want him to rest in a little bit. But if your team can't, you know, actually win those games.
There is one more thing tactically that Pep does that I'm not sure if Arteta would be able to counter. Pep has two ways of playing in terms of going forward. If both fullbacks overlap at the same time, you have to stretch the pitch. Yeah. You'll have to be stretched because there is no other way. Well, the other one is that when he puts Semenyo inside and Nico O'Reilly inside and have Matías Nunes as right back and Doku on the line, now you're confused as a fullback of Arsenal.
Yeah,
okay, do I go inside and cover Semenyo or do I stay with Matías Nunes? And even if Martinelli or Trossard or whoever plays on the left wing is able to track backs Matías Nunes, let's imagine that Matías Nunes is the one that is holding the width, right? Would you trust Martinelli or Trossard to be able to fend for themselves one-on-one against Matías Nunes in space? No, you don't.
Matías Nunes, he's a fullback, but he's actually a midfielder / winger. Like he's playing wing.
He will be able to get that half a yard. Yeah, he will be able to get that half a yard to get the cross in.
And he's a very good crosser too.
Yes, and that is why Pep has two ways of playing. It's either Semenyo on the line and Doku on the line and Matías Nunes and Nico O'Reilly inside a little bit, or you kind of confuse Arsenal a little bit. The difference is Arsenal have one way of going forward. Let's just pass it to Madueke, hope that Madueke beat his man. That's basically what it is, you know? I'm not sure if Saka's fit. If Saka's fit, it makes the game interesting. But also, has Saka been the same Saka as before?
Yeah, I brought this up on your show. I don't think he has been this season. I think he's been very whelming, just very average. I heard a rumor that he has a long-term injury and he's not going to play in the World Cup. But again, just a rumor and innuendo. We don't know.
I think what is not helping Bukayo Saka, is
Pat's getting phone calls.
I am.
Oh.
The team is not performing well in attack, so that is not helping him in confidence. He thinks every time Saka plays, he thinks that everything is on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I need to do everything. Everything.
That's kind of been that way for a few
seasons. He was the captain, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's the captain as well. That's another burden. I know there's been discussion that Declan Rice should be the captain, but they haven't quite made that. He's got an important phone call. I'll wait till he comes back because I was on a stream yesterday with an Arsenal fan, American-based one, and he had some really interesting thoughts about the fullback. So I'll wait till Judge Mo comes back. So I'm really interested in his.
Can I ask you something else? Yeah. Are you worried about Riley if he's injured?
I am nervous about that. Yeah, I do think we have a solution. It's not quite the same solution, but I do think it's a very easy plug-in. If O'Reilly misses the game, you can play Ait-Nouri, and Ait-Nouri is obviously not going to do what Nico O'Reilly does in the midfield. He does, you know, if Ait-Nouri has to play, he'll do is he'll just hold the touchline, kind of like a Nunes would. And then Doku would just go inside, where Doku has actually played a lot better this season versus like being on the touchline. He's actually been much better inside. So maybe that could be a different kind of chance creation. But Nico O'Reilly is just such a cheat code from the left back position because he's basically like crashing the box from the left back position. And like that's just like Ait-Nouri's not going to do that. And I think Arsenal really struggled with that in the cup final. Because he had 1 point Zubamendi on him. Zubamendi's like a foot shorter than O'Reilly. And O'Reilly just completely owned it. Like that header he had, like O'Reilly barely had to bend down because Zubamendi's just not tall enough. And he just can't, he's such a difficult person to mark because he's so physical and he's so tall and he's so quick. Like that's just a very unique profile. And so I think if we lose that profile in the game, that would be rough. But he has been spotted in training photos and there are rumors that he's doing okay. Again, just rumor and innuendo. We're not sure. We'll find out tomorrow if he plays.
What do you think of that, Youngster? The timing of this. The timing of this news.
Well, we just saw in our group chat, Carl brought that up. because we heard the rumor last week or 2 weeks ago or something like
Yeah,
that. You know, it was
at the time,
Pep Linders said it after
yeah,
he said he's
yeah,
leaving.
at the time, you see, the announcement. We have a big game on Sunday, and boom, here's an announcement. I think
It could
it's
give a lot of extra motivation to the player. I mean, look, I've had my criticisms of Bernardo the past 2 seasons. I had my agenda. My agenda's news alert, my agenda's over. I'm not gonna come after him anymore. You know, I'm gonna let him go out
it's
with
fair
dignity.
though.
But
It's fair.
but yeah, maybe he's doing this to motivate. Like, I think he's already self-motivated because I think that's just kind of the player he is. He's just, I think he gets up for every game. There's hardly
We're
any
gonna miss
times
him.
I've ever been like, Bernardo phoned it
I
in.
miss him.
He'll be ready. He's going to gas his teammates up. You heard Erling Haaland. I saw some quotes from him earlier today. You know, they're going to want to do it for Bernardo. You know, Pep will. And now the fans will. You know, the atmosphere on Sunday, I think, is going to be insane.
Yeah, it's going to be hell, actually, for Arsenal. It's going to be, without a shadow of a doubt. The Arsenal fans will feel it from minute
big up
one.
Luke.
From minute one, they will absolutely feel the pressure. And I'm sure that the media will make sure that to put so much pressure on Arsenal before the game.
I've seen that. Too much.
I can even see the media.
I
TV
actually agree.
altering the audio to make it sound more raucous.
Anybody that says that Arsenal have no pressure and City have more pressure because they must win, I'm telling you something. Man City players are having fun. Man City players are going into this game thinking, if we do what we have been doing over the last 3 games, we're going to get a result. Arsenal,
it might be a big result too.
And the pressure doesn't come from the media only. It comes from within. It comes from within your own belief. And I said this to Paz yesterday. I said,
I heard the stream.
I said, the fact that City, they're going to have their normal training session. Yes, a little bit of tweaks here and there. But coming from a back-to-back wins against Liverpool, City, Arsenal, and Chelsea, they would say, we have to continue the same. Arsenal will have to come up with a new plan, and something has to change for them to get a pressure. And that adds pressure in your head. You're going to be thinking. You're going to be like an Arsenal player would be sleeping, thinking about what am I going to do. A City player would be sleeping and thinking, we got this. We already won against them 4 weeks ago. Arsenal player would be thinking, no, we have to put an extra 120% because we got to win this league. It's the lot, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that City, because I think, even though people say that City smell blood, even if City draw this game and don't win the league, they will finish the season saying, yeah, we're all right. Nobody had us winning the league early. It's all right. It's okay. It's not a failure of a season. And everyone will be talking about Arsenal win the league, everyone talking about Arsenal. Arsenal lose the league, everyone talking about Arsenal. Why? Because Pep Guardiola was ruled out of winning the league early. So the pressure is off you. And City hasn't been top at all.
The only time we were on top of the table. I think game week 1 was the only week we were atop the table.
Yeah. So people keep saying about the pressure on City there. Yeah, but the reality is they haven't been top. But in 2022, 2023, even though Arsenal weren't favorites, Arsenal were top 90% of the season. So basically that automatically adds pressure to you. City have been chasing. And Micah Richards was asked about, would you rather be top or chasing? He said chasing. Because I'm always watching the team to drop points while the team in front of me are watching me about the pressure in the back mirror. It's harder to look behind than looking forward. And the problem is Arsenal not helping themselves, but we'll see. I think
their dropped off quite a bit. Their attack looks out of ideas.
I don't think that the league is as over as people say. If Arsenal get a draw, they will win the league. Well, I want any Arsenal fan to sit here and tell me that they are guaranteed to win the last 4 games against Fulham. Having Atletico Madrid between Newcastle and Fulham and West Ham away. So are you guaranteed?
I think the Fulham game is at the Emirates, but like I said, I think like I was saying on your show, I think Marco Silva is tactically an adept manager, and I think he'll look at these weaknesses that Pep has kind of brought out. I know it was a cup game, but I think he'll look at that and he can adapt his team into that. And Fulham have played Arsenal tough before. 2 seasons ago, I believe they had a win and a draw against Arsenal.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So they have historically like done this to Arsenal in a title race. Because I remember thanking them and be like, "Yeah, full America, let's go." Because I'm
There's a
like
question
that,
for you, Youngster. There's a question.
Do I like how? Okay, question. Do you like how Pep has the team playing this season?
Enough.
Over the course of the entire season, I would say it's been a very mixed bag. Because again, there's been a lot of experimentation. There was that direct football earlier in the season that had 8 wins in a row in all comps. I did enjoy that, but
Then it
that
went.
but then when the new season, then when the new year hit, we changed the style. We went back to possession. That coincided with Rodri coming back, and the team struggled. We were dropping a lot of winnable points. Because I think part of that is just Rodri's fitness. Like maybe the difference right now is just that Rodri is fit and he wasn't fit earlier.
No. But I'm gonna enter here. Nico Gonzalez was playing very well.
Nico Gonzalez was playing very well. I think we played some of our best football this season with him. But it's been a bit dire. This January, February wasn't great. A lot of staggering. I think he fixed the midfield. I think that was the issue is. Yeah, the midfield, when he put Nico O'Reilly in the midfield, I think that gave us the physicality we were lacking. Because let's be real, in the year 2026, when Rodri's coming off an ACL and Bernardo Silva's 31, that's not the most physical or pacey midfield. And that was struggling. The two of them were struggling. But now Pep has kind of fixed it. And now they are the solution. Now it's kind of this 4-2-4. And that's starting to work now. That's allowing Ryan Cherky to play better. Yeah. Cause I think that January period is when he was playing that 3-1-6. That was awful. We got embarrassed against Manchester United and Bodo Glimt, that 3-1-6. It didn't work. Teams were just running through the midfield. And then that's when he put Nico O'Reilly in and it kind of stabilized it a little bit. And now he's kind of found it, now he's found a way to stabilize it with Bernardo just sitting next to Rodri. And that's all we've been crying out for, at least on this channel. We've been crying out for somebody next to Rodri. I wanted it to be Nico G because I rate Nico G and I like the guy, but Pep said no. Okay, fine. He found somebody to put next to Rodri. Rodri's looking better. He's got the legs next to him now, and granted it's only been 3 games, but I think he's gonna roll with this system the rest of the way. I really do. He may lose with it, but I think this is what he wants to do, and I think he's just gonna go with it. And I think it's gonna be the same starting 11. I don't think there's gonna be any changes unless there's injuries.
I have a question for Judge Moore.
Oh.
So Mo,
I don't know what is her kitty cat called.
Oh.
If that is your question, I don't know.
The cat's name is Katniss, after the Hunger Games character.
No, this for Judge Moore. So, look, I think the media,
Judge Mo, my
very
cat's
sneaky.
called.
Are very sneaky towards Arsenal because this same media, they were twerking for Arsenal. Now they have flipped. It's always this or that, but I haven't heard anyone. More. Can Arsenal win this? Can they win it? There's no way they can win this.
The game
Match. Yeah. Don't you see?
It's there is a way to win it, of course. There is a way to win it.
What would they have to do to win the game?
Just defend well and just the set pieces need to be better because they're gonna get a couple of corners, 3-4 corners. That's what you need to do.
And this is a good comment. I do think. Where'd the comment go? This one.
And
I do
also
think there's a weakness of Donnarumma is the corners. I think he did well in the game at the Emirates.
That's something that is people need to be aware that also Kuzanov is inexperienced in situations like this. He's not Ruben Diaz. Like these guys, as long as even though we might say, oh, Ruben Diaz is not a top defender, he's an experienced defender that will know what to do and how to lead the team and how to mark, who to mark, and he will know. Kuzanov is young. He's young.
He is paired with experience. So with Gahey, has a lot more experience than Kuzanov does. Diaz unfortunately is still injured, so he won't be featuring in the game. He has like a hamstring problem, I believe.
The media weren't working for Arsenal. Arsenal was the best team in the league. City were in and out. Arsenal were more consistent. Arsenal were having a good season. They scored a lot of goals. They didn't concede a lot of goals, and they were just consistent. And then I don't think it's fatigue. I think you have to be inventive. And
God.
Arsenal were not inventive during the season. They assumed that the same thing will work over and over again. We just pass it to the winger and the winger dribbles. Well, guess what? Sometimes players dip in form. Like Haaland now, his form is out. But Pep Guardiola found different ways to approach games. Nico O'Reilly's late runs, Matthias Nunes crosses, Ryan Shirky outside the 18. He found different ways. Arteta hasn't found a different way. Hasn't. He assumed that the season, that you will go 9 months playing the same way and it will go your way. Well, most likely it won't. It won't go the way.
Teams adjust. Yeah, because when you just keep playing
Teams
the same
adjust to
way,
you.
you
And
create
also
your
players
own
form
blueprint.
like, who is the player that we only talk about the top of the top, the Messis, the Ronaldos, Salahs, Ronaldinhos, Kevin De Bruyne, even Kevin De Bruyne. The top of the top players you have never stay consistent for a whole 9 months. And you need to find ways. You need to find other people to step up. And he hasn't. He hasn't found a way. And the problem is catching up now. And it's catching up in the last 6-7 games in the season. Right? It's catching up. So you need to find different ways, different avenues. I think Eze is supposed to be a key for Arsenal. He just keep getting in and out of the team with injuries. If Odegaard is back,
a lot when he was healthy too. Like I feel like Arteta didn't properly integrate him in because there was a lot of games where he was just sitting on the bench and you're just like, why?
Yeah, that's that too. Like he's on because the problem with Arsenal, Kilk, is they have no time. You know, you don't have time. Like they can be patient. They can be patient with Eze. Eze had the dip in form. You know what I mean? And Arteta's like, no, you're out of the team. I'm playing Mikel Merino. He's not patient with him. And it's hard for a player to get embedded in a team without having patience. Like, players take a season or two to actually hit top form.
They do.
And this is something we forget as fans too, because like, you know, I've been frustrated that Turkey hasn't played a lot of these games. And I think we dropped a lot of points because of that back in like January, February-ish or March, early March, something like that. But Eze is the kind of player you kind of expect to just slot in because he is an experienced player. You know, he just came off of his first trophy win. Like
it's a new system, though.
He knows the Premier League. He's prem proven. He's at the right age. He's what, 26, 27. Like that's like the age you just expect him to slot in. Like, I think we had that with Tijani Reinders. I think we expected him to start a lot of games and slot right in. And he did start a lot of games at the beginning of the season, and now he's kind of found himself out of the team.
I told you that Pep Guardiola's system is one of the hardest systems to get in the midfield.
Yeah, it is.
There is no player in the history of Pep that came to City and was like, hit the ground running in the midfield from the first season. It's hard. It's the hardest system to play in the middle. Very, very hard. It is nearly impossible. And Reinders, he's not a bad player. He just needs time to adjust to Pep Guardiola's system. By the way, Gundogan was at City. Was he at City before Pep or was he after Pep?
No, he was Pep's first signing.
First signing.
And did he play well first season? He didn't win the league anyway the first season. So basically...
No, he was injured. Remember, we signed him and he was injured and he recovered. So he played a little bit towards the end, but he missed a lot of the, like, cause he came and he had knee surgery and, so he didn't play a lot.
Yeah.
Remember that when his introductory video is him on crutches and everyone's like, what the hell is this?
Foden is struggling now. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I saved this question. I was going to ask you about this, but,
I don't know what is wrong with him. Like, I don't know. Maybe the game is quicker than what maybe the game is quicker now with City than what he used to play. Maybe the game is more physical than what he used to in the Premier League. Because Pep tried him on the right side, Pep tried him in the 10, Pep tried him in the 8. It never worked out for him. It worked out with Shirky in the beginning of the season.
He did, yeah.
And then it kind of fell off.
I agree. I get that point of the season I keep referencing. Or won 8 games in a row. That was with Nico G, and that was also with Ryan Turkey and Foden together in the midfield. Or I guess Turkey was kind of inverting off of the wing into the midfield, but Foden and Turkey were feeding off each other. They I think they're on the same wavelength because they're just young, very, very technical players. I call them techie ballers. So I think that they were thriving off of that, but then the system kind of changed. And Foden, there's another question about Foden. Is Foden done for the rest of the season? I don't think he is. I think Pep will play him. I don't think Pep will start him. But have you noticed Foden has now in the past couple of games has been the first or the only sub off of the bench. So that to me indicates that that Pep is not finished with him. But if you look at a player like Tijani Rangers is not getting the call. He's not coming on as a sub. It's Foden who's coming on. So I think that is boding well. I don't know what's going on with Foden, but I you know me, I back Foden. I'm always gonna support the guy. I think he's a great player. I don't know if he fits in this exact system that Pep is playing, but we'll see what happens. We're probably not going to play like this next season. I don't think we can because Bernardo's going to leave, and I think Bernardo is like a big reason why we're playing this way because like he's the only person who can really do the job that's being asked. So maybe when Bernardo leaves, Pep will have to come up with a new way to play, and maybe Foden will be the player who kind of does what Bernardo does. We'll find out, but I don't think he's finished. I thought he looked good coming off the bench against Chelsea. I know it was only 15, 20 minutes, and I know Chelsea are kind of not the greatest, but I'll take it. And despite all of Foden's troubles this season, he hasn't scored a goal since like December or January. He's still our second leading goal scorer. So that shows that the talent is still there. I'm just not going to give up on him. I like the guy.
You can be
finished. He's a good player. I've seen him carry his team to a title. So
finished at 25 years old is crazy, actually.
You can.
Who's more finished at 25, Foden or Saka?
They're not.
It looks like, okay, who's more finished? Palmer or Foden? That's the bigger question.
There's that running meme on the internet about how nobody won the debate between Foden, Saka, and Palmer.
Nobody won the debate.
You know who's going to win the debate? It's going to be Nico O'Reilly. He's coming in hot.
Nobody won the debate, which is so true about this. Nobody did.
And I think they've all had their own separate issues. Like Saka, it's injury and fatigue. I think he's been a brilliant player, but I think that that hamstring injury just killed him. He does not have the same explosion, and you can blame Arteta for that. He had, he overplayed him a lot as a young kid when you're developing, and your body just doesn't develop properly then. So when you're playing on a weak foundation, it's easy. Once it breaks, it's never coming back. And then Palmer has also had some injury issues, but Palmer's, let's be real, he's been a pen merchant the past year and a half. Like this has been an extended for him too. People are saying Foden extended, but Palmer kind of dropped off around the beginning of 2025, and he's never come back from it. And outside of penalties, what is Palmer really doing?
Palmer need to leave.
Is he going to need to go to Man United?
Because Palmer, okay, here is the reality that people don't want to face. Palmer is a young player that needs development. And freaking Liam Rosenior isn't going to teach him anything useful for his career.
Was it the guy Palmer, and then he bailed?
And you know what it does? You know what it doesn't help as well? You know what it doesn't help? That you aren't surrounded by KDB and Bernardo Silva and Rodri. So if Liam Rosenior is at Chelsea, but he's surrounded by top players, yes. Like at Real Madrid, Arbeloa might be the greatest coach in the world, but the likes of Brahim Diaz, Arda Güler, they are surrounded by a Kylian Mbappe, by a Rudiger, by a Courtois, by a Carvajal in the team, by a Trent in the team. You know what I mean? These people, you learn from them. Who are they going to learn from? Pedro Neto or Estevao or João Pedro? Is he going to learn from Enzo Fernandez, for example? No. So you can have a young coach. And the players can develop. Oh yeah, but they can only develop. Like you can have.
Okay, and Enzo, they're pretty good.
They aren't experienced enough. These guys to the point that to teach Palmer. No.
Enzo, World Cup winner.
No, they aren't. It's not about age.
I'll give you that, but you have had some glowing words about Caicedo.
No, but it's not about age. It's about how many times have you competed at the top? How many times you have been under pressure at the top? How many times you played in a semi-final? How many times you had pressure on you in a game where you had to show up different qualities? That's why when Thiago Silva was there, everyone at Chelsea looked better. Why? Because Thiago Silva can tell you where to go. People that played football will know this. having someone at the pitch that will point you where to stand, where to go, 2 steps left, 2 steps right. You should be here. It makes a difference on the pitch. Well, Cole Palmer doesn't have anybody to tell him what to do when he has 2 on him, when he's being man-marked, when the right-sided isn't. Like, we play football, and we have, like, I have experience. I claim I have a lot of experience in the game. Sometimes I'll see my winger, he's not having a success because that area is blocked. The fullback is not coming forward. The center back is in. I will tell my winger, tuck inside the pitch, move in the space between the center back and the fullback. Who's at Chelsea teaching them this?
There's a comment here.
But because he's a very good player. But also Saka had players around him and had a team that is competing. Saka himself learned from competing at the top. Palmer hasn't competed at the top, guys. Like himself, yeah. Don't tell me that the 900 minutes in his history of the Premier League under City is pressure at the top. Zero pressure. He was just a passenger for this team. He played 900 minutes in the Premier League for City. That is, you haven't been put on the pitch for you when the game is hard for you. Like, no, he hasn't. Not enough game. And by the way, Saka stood out, but Odegaard was leading the world in chances created at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, you have a Gabriel who's experienced. You have a Declan Rice that won with West Ham, that is played England international, that was in a Euros. You have players that are experienced. And also that club is shambles, to be honest with you. That club is shambles, bro.
No, it's bad. It's bad.
It's awful, bro. It's awful. It's awful.
They need to wake up.
I don't think they're going to wake up. They're keeping Liam Rosenior, my friend. And it's dull. It's dark. I said it. There is a scenario where I will need to have content on golf next season or American football. If Pep wins the league, Pep stays, Arteta stays, Rosenior stays, Slot stays, and Carrick stays. What are we going to talk about? Who's winning the league next season? City.
I think there's going to be some more transition next season because, I do think Pep is going to stay. I know there's a slight possibility if City somehow win the. Look, I'm not counting my chickens before I get hatched, but we are technically able to win 2 more trophies. So if he wins a domestic treble, there are rumors that he could leave. I think it's more just wishful thinking from the rivals, but I think he's going to stay personally. But I still think there's going to be some rebuilding going on because we're going to sign some new midfielders because, losing Bernardo Silva is going to, that's going to be a big impact on the team. And we also don't know what Rodri's doing yet either. So if we lose Rodri and Bernardo over the summer, that's going to be a big transition. And I think there's replacements in mind. 1, they're not signed yet. And 2, they're going to, like you said, they're going to probably take a year under Pep because the Pep midfield is the hardest thing to do. So I wouldn't just assume that if City, if they win the title this season, I wouldn't just assume they're going to win it next season either. Because I do think there is still some transition going on. But I think we're pretty stacked in the forwards, and I think we're pretty set in defense. But the middle,
well, Kelk, you can assume by yourself, but Kelk, because if Pep stays, he's gonna get 250 million to spend. So
but it's sad.
We're serious though.
That's sad though. Look at the managers at Chelsea, Liverpool, Moyes, right, and United. That's not a good pedigree. That's sad. It's going to be a sad league. There's a question here.
Who's challenging Pep after winning the league and having 200, 230, 100 million to spend after Bernardo leaves?
Maybe year 5 is the year for
Arteta. He won't.
Maybe Arteta is next year, or maybe Arne Slot will come back with vengeance.
He will. Listen, Arteta's guarantee you one thing. He's always close to the top.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me who's winning the league, it's definitely it is gonna be City. I'll bet my money on City to win the league next season.
Do you want to ask this? Then we can close the show.
But Mo, why you and Osam said City won't dominate anymore and there will be different winners every year? Because we assume that Arsenal will win it this season. And Arsenal will be consistent. Because I saw that Arsenal win it this season, Pep might leave or he stays, Arsenal will strengthen. I think they will be stronger. So even if City win it next year, that's not domination. You get the point. Like, what This is not City's doing. And I'm going to repeat again for the people that don't hear me. What City are doing now, in the normal circumstances that we saw is going to happen this season, City should finish third. I'm going to explain it again. Simple. Liverpool, with the signings they had, were at least supposed to get 86, 90 points, right? Like, that's just logical.
Yeah.
Arsenal were supposed to get similar points to what they're getting now. City are the ones who are doing exactly what we expected. 80 points, 81 points, which normally would get you third in the league. Normally, that will get you third, especially with Liverpool. The reason why City are about to win the league is because Arsenal are underachieving in the last 6-7 games of the season, and Liverpool have completely failed. But if you're asking me if this is a normal season and Liverpool are doing what they're supposed to do, what everyone expected them to do, Arsenal and City should be competing for second and third now with these performances. 81, 82, 83 points will get you second or third. Won't win you the title. Because City, remember, City dropped points unexpectedly against Spurs, Chelsea, West Ham,
Brighton,
Sunderland, Forest, Brighton. Like,
West Ham.
this is not a normal title-winning
Probably shouldn't have dropped
performances
United
by Pep
either.
Guardiola. You get the point. If you win the league this season, it's not because City are bro. There is City fans that were saying
Arsenal messed
maybe
up.
it's time to move on. And no, the bigger team that messed up is Liverpool, not Arsenal, by the way. Liverpool are the team that messed up completely, by the way.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
lot of money.
But
lot of
that
money.
kind of goes to show
It's a
that.
lot of money on a Premier League winning team to actually have 50 points.
But that shows
Wait,
one of the
wait,
hardest things to do is to
50.
retain a title.
52
No.
points, yes.
I didn't
52.
see that.
52 points. They're 52 points.
Hey.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, and that
Oh,
shows
no.
how hard it is to retain the Premier League. And they had that problem the other times that they won the Prem. They remember the first time they won the Prem, they weren't even close to retaining it.
No way. It's not a joke.
Oh, they are on 52.
52
Wow, we're 12
points.
points ahead of them. Dang. What are Chelsea at? 48? Oh, wow. Yeah, Chelsea. Oof.
What's this?
We don't give them enough crap about all the money
Newcastle.
they spend,
New-
but they
Newcastle.
they're just
Oh my
like a
God,
drunk
Newcastle.
person with a credit card when they go buy players. I'm just like, what do you do?
It's bad.
There's no
Newcastle,
profiles. There's
52
no
points.
system. There's just buying players to buy players, and they're all mediocre too. Like I'm like, why are you
This
spending
league-
40 million on
this league-
Garnacho and Gittins and these kind of scrubs? Like,
This
buy
league,
elite
this
players.
league is bad.
It's not bad. This league is hard.
Look at Villa. Villa look at their form, and they're still in 4th place. That's crazy. But anyways, we know Judge Mo has a show to get to in a few minutes, so we can wrap it up real
plug
quick.
in.
How do you see the game going? Let's do a quick last question. Like, what do you think happens Sunday?
City attack. And that's about it. And Arsenal defend. And it's either a City win or a draw, to be honest with you. That's about it. Like, I can't see past that, to be honest.
Nope.
So
Okay.
Mo,
I can't see
Mo,
past it.
tell us about your show. Where can find you?
No, I'm actually doing a kind of a different show. I'm reacting to the overlap. What Thierry Henry put so much pressure on Arsenal in the City game
I saw that.
yesterday. And Caicedo signed a new contract. I think it's a massive mistake by him. I think
Me
this is
too.
a massive mistake by Caicedo. I hope there is a release fucking clause in his contract they can get out. And that's it. Like, and they're just reacting to things, just having fun for an hour or so.
Go
There's
Judge
been
Mo.
some good interactions between the MCFC lads as a City fan.
I
who's
thought
mostly
instead of
overlap.
doing a video
He's
about
been
it
good.
and react, I'll just do it live.
There you go.
But
Oh God,
I'll
we
put
got
you
a prediction.
on loudspeaker.
Brian thinks it's gonna be 1-0 City with 9 at the back. Yeah. Also, another thing that I was chatting with
Can I tell you something? This game went in 1-0. If City win the game, it would be 2+ goal margins, like the Carabao Cup.
Good for the goal difference. We need
Because
that.
if
We need a goal
Arsenal
difference. That's the
concede,
tiebreaker.
Arsenal will open up.
Yeah,
And it's either Arsenal get the goal or City get the goal.
I
It
think
won't
that-
just end
so
one.
just go
What
first.
I heard from an Arsenal fan, an American one, he thinks that they're going to play Hincapié as left back, and he thinks they're going to play Mascara as a right back. So that
If
really
Timber's
stunts their
out,
attack.
yes. If Timber's
That'll-
out, yeah.
That'll really stunt their attack. Yeah, Timber, I don't
Ben
think
White.
is healthy.
Ben White has been bad, so
Yeah, Ben
So
White.
Ben White has been
Doku
great.
cooked Ben White. Like cooked him. And Ryan Jerky
Yeah.
got in his head.
So anyway, thank you Mo for coming. Appreciate it.
Great.
Unfortunately,
Sup,
thank
my
you.
voice
guys?
is still down, so
Martin coming in last.
Fuck off.
Judge Mo, the Arsenal fan.
Fuck
Yes.
off.
I'll give a quick heads up to the chat. Strasbourg, Steve and I are gonna do another preview tonight. 11 p.m. UK. We're gonna have some American-based Arsenal fans on, so it'll be kind of like American-based chat. But yeah, we got more
Watch
of
this
that,
thing.
and then Patrick, why
Watch
don't you
this
tell us
thing.
what we have tomorrow?
nah, no, you say it. I can't. You say it.
Well, tomorrow Patrick has secured Big Steve. We're gonna welcome Big Steve onto the channel tomorrow. So that's gonna be really exciting. So come back. That'll be 7 p.m. UK tomorrow. So
But I
look
appreciate
forward
it.
to that one. That'll be really fun. I've been really excited to chat with Big Steve.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of his for
Go
several years, so that'll be really fun.
Yeah. Go subscribe to Judge Mo. He's one of my closest friends, and I like doing content with him. Once my voice is back, I'll go there and troll people.
Inshallah. Inshallah.
Absolutely.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
All right,
it.
thanks
Appreciate you,
everyone.
people.
See you.
We'll see you guys. See ya.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. All right, bye bye.